to our Mage the Ascension campaign. I am your storyteller, and it is my responsibility to guide these wonderful people through the perils and wonders of magic. There are no new announcements for the channel, though there will be a new show coming pretty soon, actually. So keep an eye out for that. So we'll just go ahead and let these wonderful people tell you what they're up to and what they do all day and night and whenever time exists, really. We'll start with Elias.
Oh damn! I was not expected to put on the spot. Hi, I'm Ari. You can find me on the well, formerly known as Twitter, but it's still going to be called Twitter because I disagree with it. But at Small Shadow Snack, where I haven't been posting a lot, but it's usually possums. But tonight I am playing Elias, and I am back to annoy Ree per my usual.
Always wise behavior. Next up, Erik.
Well, hello. Yeah, my name is Quinn Sellers. You can find me on the X, as it is called now, under the Mercenary Storyteller. I'm playing Erik Tristan, and we will be doing some things that is going to hurt me emotionally, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, last but certainly not least, Oliver.
Oh yeah, I'm at Sir Monolith, and that's pretty much where you can find me on Twitter right now, and usually mostly just active in this particular channel at the moment, which may change in the future. But just keep an eye out for things. Looking forward to seeing how we narrowly escape death tonight.
All right, and now that our cast has been introduced, it is my duty to let you know that the world of darkness can be a dark and unforgiving place. Our cast has been briefed on that and has communicated to me all the ways that I can help them enjoy this wonderful setting. And I encourage for you to do what needs to be done, pause, mute, and take any other number of safety opportunities to take care of yourself, because ultimately this is a game and we are here to have fun. And now that all the pleasantries have ended, it is time for our cabal to return to what they were doing. We rejoin you all as you are making your way towards a small forest grove. The area you've been led through is strangely quiet. The sounds you would expect to see from a forest are not there. The feelings you'd get from being in a forest are oddly absent. But you can't help but feel like you are being watched. You can almost feel as if there is a hand just out of sight, just behind you, reaching out to you as you move through the darkened treetops. And is there anything you three of you wish to be doing as you are being led through this forest?
I think Erik will be mentally preparing for what he knows is to come. I'm assuming we're being guided and or sent by Azariah.
You are?
To do what we determined to do last game. And so my faculties I'm barely holding up. We'll see how it goes.
Oliver's taking in the great outdoors and enjoying the fresh air, as he's usually stuck in the city. It's nice to taste that clean air once in a while, even if it's not under the best of circumstances.
The fake clean air.
Yeah. All right. You take that back.
Elias is, of course, dreading being outside because he is outside and he does not like to be outside.
All right. And as you all move forward, you notice that the trees almost seem to part for Azariah. The branches that give you a pause, that are tripping you up, and every once in a while cutting the bottoms of your lower legs, excuse me, and your arms seem to just passively part for her. And you all find yourselves being led to a small campfire. The flame seems to be rising just tall enough to be at the chests for most of you. But the flames don't seem to be hot to you all. They feel comfortable. And as she stands in front of it, she turns to look at each of you. Hello, right. Well, we are going to be beginning. I assume that all three of you don't have a connection with this wraith, only you. Is that correct? And she looks at you, Eric.
Correct.
Wonderful. And I assume your wonderful friends here will be helping you.
I really hope so.
Oliver pulls out a folding chair.
Wonderful.
I mean, of course.
Right. And as she waves her hand, you see coming from a bracelet she kept around her wrist, a small amount of dolls begin to just kind of emerge. They look almost like humanoid baby dolls, only they are in the shape of like a big stoned. If you've ever seen the Eastern Island heads, they look a bit like them. The heads are much bigger than the bodies, but they are all the size of maybe like a small dog. And as each one appears, one goes to each of you. Alright, so I will need for you each to hold one of my wonderful puppies here. They will help you help your friend deal with the magic, ideally the unpleasantries of magic, but I know some of you are not as attuned with the spirits as others. This will make it a little bit easier for you. You all ask fewer questions than most people do at this point in the presentation, and for that I am very happy. So, do you have
going to hurt?
Pain is a very complicated thing.
Define
No,
It will
it's,
hurt.
It's not.
It is.
Yeah, it's really not.
It may hurt you in a variety of ways, and it may not hurt you in other ways.
I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for her.
Oh, it's probably.
I'm sorry, did you say probably?
Probably.
Emotionally, spiritually, maritally.
We did talk about different possibilities for this communication, and if we were able to summon the spirit. Granted, there was a cost, but we could capture is a bad word, but force the spirit into an object, or at least relinquish her from the grasp of this kindred.
Yes.
Is that still on the table?
Possible. Of course, if you are willing to pay the price.
How much for one of those dolls?
A major debt from all three of you, ideally.
No, I didn't need you to perform any rituals. I just want to know what the cost of one of those dolls would be.
Yes, one of my wonderful dolls here are works of art. One's of a kind. Assuming you only want the doll. I'm sure we come up with a financial price.
I accept.
Fun. I don't assume either of the two of you want one of my wonderful creations.
My house is very sparsely decorated. It would be a disservice to put one of them in there.
Very diplomatic. And what about you, Hermetic?
I don't see why I wouldn't want one. I'm always in the market for odds and ends.
You all are not as much fun. Loosen up a bit. But anyway, I suppose we should get on to business. There will be time for fun later. Hold on to your doll. They may become painful, but I assure you, you are in no actual danger. All right. Now, can I have all three of you make me a willpower roll? Yes.
Thank you.
All right. The difficulty will be 7.
Oh no.
Did we rest when we got back, right?
Yeah, you would have regained the willpower. Would have regained the
Yes,
willpower.
you have regained your spell slots.
Oh, we already.
That-
There's
that-
nothing
that-
too easy. Too easy.
Grand total of 1 success.
Wonderful.
What was the difficulty?
7.
I didn't catch what we were rolling.
Willpower.
Willpower. Okay.
3 successes.
3.
Well, that should be easy. I have no willpower. Said 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to get one of these dolls on an IOU.
I got 1 success.
Okay. So she turns to the fire, and you see she removes a small sewing needle, and she uses it to cut just across the palm of her hand, and she lets the blood drip onto the flames, and you all see the flames turn a deep amber color. And they begin to transition from amber to crimson to azure blue to greens to some colors you've never seen before, colors that seem both calming and frightening. And as she does, she begins to speak in a language that none of you have heard before. It sounds like a mixture of song, it's the sounds of forests, eldritch thought. As you try and focus on each part of it, it seems more and more foreign to you. And just as you begin to wonder if you should continue standing there, to continue sitting there, the dolls in your hands begin to speak, their voices joining in unison with hers. Elias, as you begin to hold your doll, it begins to feel cold on your fingers. At first, it's a minor pain, but then it begins to transition into the coldness of absence, the coldness of being alone, of being in the dark. What is something that Elias regrets?
Ooh. He regrets his current separation from his husband.
As you are holding the doll, you begin to see the image of a figure. He seems to be walking away from you, and it's almost like with each step, that coldness grows more and more intense until you desperately want to throw this doll into the fire, to get away from it, to hide from this loneliness. Now, you do have 1 success on your willpower roll, so you can endure it, toughen up, hold on to it. But does Elias do so?
Yeah, yep, he'll hold on to the doll.
Okay.
He's getting misty-eyed, but he will hold on to the doll.
All right. Oliver, as you are holding on to this doll as it continues its song, you begin to feel pain. It's unclear where it's coming from exactly. At first, it's more like a sharp needle-like sensation, almost like your hands have fallen asleep. But then it changes. It becomes an arm pain and dull ache. Then it starts to feel as if the doll is taking something from you, as if you're slowly being drained of energy, sapped of strength, of willpower, and you feel as if if you continue to hold on to this doll, there will be nothing left inside. And you have also rolled at least one success on your willpower roll, so you can choose to continue holding this doll, to stick it out with your cabal mates, or you can throw it into the flames and recapture who you are, your independence, and strike out on your own. Which one? What does Oliver do? You're muted, Oliver, if you said something.
My sound cut out for a minute. What did you say?
Did you hear? What was the last thing you heard?
You were talking to Quinn, and then it just kind of froze up for a second.
Okay. So, as Oliver's holding the doll, you begin to feel this overwhelming sense of draining, as you feel willpower, inner strength, all of it seems to be being stolen by this doll. And you
Like
have the
mine
choice.
specifically?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
And you have the choice, since you rolled at least one on your willpower roll. Do you hold on to this doll and stick in with your companions, your cabal mates, or do you throw it into the fire and strike out on your own?
No, I'm not sure how Oliver would react to that revelation. I think we'll make it a coin toss.
Let's leave all our decisions up to chance. Yeah,
That's
let's
right.
do that.
50 and below is yes, throw it in the fire. 51 and above is no, ride the lightning. Throw it in the fire.
All right, you toss this doll into the flames, and as you watch it, the material that this doll is made up of doesn't burn. It more disintegrates into nothing, almost as if it was made out of gossamer webbing. But you feel better. It's almost as if your inner strength is returning. Erik, as you hold on to this doll, you begin to feel a sense of loss. You remember the attack in Los Angeles. You remember the beginning of your journey as a mage. You remember the day that Jessica was taken from you, the way it looked, the explanations you tried to give to the authorities, to anyone that would listen. You remember how no one seemed to believe you. And anger begins to bubble up inside of you. Anger at them, anger at the world, anger at Jessica for holding so many secrets, fury. And you begin to feel the doll in your hand grow heavier, as if made out of solid lead. And you realize that if you aren't careful, this doll is going to anchor you to the ground. And you won't be able to save anyone. You won't be able to save yourself. However, with 3 successes, you are aware of the world around you. You realize that Elias has not thrown their doll into the flames, although it looks like it's become a dark blue and purple mass of ice that seems to be freezing the air around them. You see that Oliver has thrown their doll into the flames, and it seems to have faded into nothing. And you see Azariah staring at you expectantly. The flames in front of her are a complicated black and gray color. And you see in the center of them the world you visited, the world that you entered with the help of the staff, the world of the spirits. And you have a choice to make. Do you throw your doll into the fire, or do you hold on to it?
I know the reason that we're here, and it's not a good time to back out now. I will close my eyes, granted, grasped by fury, and squeezing the doll a little bit harder, but I'm going to hold on to it.
Okay. So this is what's going to happen next, because two of you are still holding on. The potentially gained paradox will be divided between the two of you.
Sure. All right. That makes sense.
However, you both are able to add your Arete to Azariah's to determine how effective this spell will be. So Azariah has 4 points of Arete, and our goal in total is to get to 15 successes. And the difficulty for the roll will be 4. So you all may roll. Yes.
That's why I asked if it's spirit or not. So she's trying to. I know Elias and I talks, but I think we both know we were full of shit when we made the agreement. I'm going to pull out the staff.
Okay. You wish to borrow the strength of the staff.
Now that I know what it does for me. Yeah.
There is the very softest whisper of wanker as he sees the staff.
Typical Erik, always looking for an excuse to pull out his staff.
Have you seen how girthy this thing is? I mean, it's majesty.
Okay. So there will be consequences for this.
That's fine.
So for this
but I'm hoping
roll,
it helps.
For this ritual, you can count your Arete as 5. And the difficulty for you will be 3. This is the specialty of this item.
I have a question.
Sure.
I don't have any spirit.
Yes, the doll is what is allowing you to make the roll, so it does not matter if you have spirit. It is you are using her strength.
Okay.
So I 5 Arete for mine. 3, 7, 8, 8, 8. That's 5 successes, baby.
Okay.
1 success.
All right. You all are at a grand total of 8 successes. You're halfway there. And you both can add 1 point of paradox to your wheel.
That's fine.
Which way does
when we rest, do we lose paradox or do we keep that?
No, getting rid of paradox is much more difficult than just sleeping.
I'm just checking. Just check.
All right. One
Apparently
more
I
round
had
of
some
rolling.
already, so great.
One
Oliver's
more
a little
round of
jumpier
rolling.
on spirit magic because he knows nothing about it. He's just like, oh no, I'm being drained like a battery.
Did you say one more round of rolling?
Yeah.
Roll again? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
One more round. Oh, we'll see. You need to get to 15 successes.
Oh!
1 more. These 2 are going in jail because they're not.
How do
being
crits work with the staff? You get 2 10s.
Did you get a critical success?
That's 2 10s, 8, and a 4, and a 4. It's 5 successes plus a crit.
So in this particular case, because of the nature of this staff, you do gain a critical success on manipulating spirit material and spirit summoning. So, and I believe based on that, so it'd be each channel count as 2, so that'd be 2, 4, and then you got 1 success on every other dice, so that'd be 7. Okay, so you all got more than enough successes. However, I
I'm going
need
full
a
dark side. I don't give
willpower.
a shit. Let's do it.
I
Yep.
need a willpower roll from Erik. Difficulty 8.
You got this.
I got it. And there's 1 success, 2 successes, 2 successes.
Okay. As you all are doing this ritual, for a moment, everything seems to be going according to plan. And then Erik removes the darkened staff. And
He whips
just
it out. That's right.
For a moment, you see Azariah stare at you curiously before everything changes. Neon green flames erupt from the staff and arc to everyone except for Oliver, because Oliver got rid of their doll. And you feel the gauntlet, the space between worlds, tear open as if it was made of tissue paper. And for a moment, the world of the dead and the living become one. And you all can feel sickness, corruption, disgust radiating from this staff as a dark eldritch skeletal hand reaches from the center of the staff and into the flames. And for a moment, everything is still, as if the world is holding its breath. And then you see the body, the spectral form of a woman being torn out of the flames. These green eldritch chains surrounding her, almost as if holding her in a cocoon, begin to tighten around her. And for now, the summoning seems to be successful.
Are these spectral chains, can I gather if this is something that of our doing, or are these spectral chains something that's preventing her from coming to us, like something that's holding her back?
You can tell that these are made out of the same eldritch green material that comes from the staff. This is not the same as what you saw with the necromancer.
Okay, this is our doing then.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yes. What do you do next?
So the spirit has materialized incense in front of us, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to attempt to speak with it. I'm holding the staff, and I'm gripping it tight, with a little bit of love, but a lot of fury. Jessica, is that you?
Yes.
What is holding you back from moving on?
So many regrets, so many unsaid words, unsaid deeds.
For who?
For you, for others, for many.
This is no way to keep yourself here. What if you must say it now. Be free.
Elias and Oliver, can I have you roll me perception and empathy, please? Difficulty 6.
Empathize with me, guys. Empathize.
What's the difficulty?
6.
6.
I don't have any empathy. It's all perception. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
one success.
You don't. Yeah, that checks out for Elias.
Success.
Yeah.
Two. I sympathize 2 times.
Okay. So, with 1 success, there's something about this conversation that seems off to you, Oliver. It's weird. You have heard of people summoning spirits, and you know that they, in your orders especially, you know that they usually go one of 2 ways. There's usually some sort of exchange of gifts or bartering or threats, but this seems off to you. Just, it feels off. You have that kind of tingling feeling on your arms, and it just seems off. Elias, you've seen spirits before. You've seen Jessica in spirit form before, and she seemed much more alive last time, much more aware of herself. You notice that in this particular case, she never says any more or less than the answer to the question she's asked. And you begin to notice that the chains themselves aren't static. It's almost as if they are recoiling around her. And that seems strange to you.
Now, that is different from the last time I saw her, because I do have eidetic memory.
Yes, with your ability, you can tell immediately that she is not the same as last time you saw her. You can't see her full body, but she's more static. It's almost like she is closer to what a robot would be, one that does not have its own intelligence, just exists.
Does anything about her seem different? She looks very different.
You didn't have me roll already. Do I notice anything, or do I have to roll?
This is fine. Do you? This is exactly what you wanted. You do notice that she does not respond to your last question, your last statement.
My last statement?
Mm-hmm.
Well, since I didn't roll and I do not notice anything, I will continue speaking. Do you wish to be free from his grasp? I'll ask her. Enzo's grasp.
I do not wish for anything.
Can I help you in moving on?
Make me a willpower roll. Difficulty 8.
Oh. Two successes.
You ask that question, and then for just a moment, there is a sensation, an instinct. And there's as if a voice in the back of your mind goes, keep her here. Why do you want her to move anywhere? You can keep her safe here.
It's not what I want at all.
You did not have this power before. Now you do. There are many more things open to you. Life and death mean nothing.
Just gonna make a roll. Ignore me. Nothing's happening. Everything's fine. I would like to use the power of the staff to bind the spirit to the doll that I got an IOU on from Azariah. want to hold the spirit here in this vessel.
Okay. You don't even have to communicate your will to the staff. The chains seem to move on their own, and all of you see 3 of them fly forward and slam themselves into the center of this doll that was previously hot. In the moment that the doll is hit by these chains, it begins to morph and to change. It becomes a neon green color, almost as if it's changing into spiritual material. The spirit doesn't seem to react as these chains begin to pull it closer and closer to the doll. Then you see more dolls begin to appear, these ones golden in color, and they are all about the size of a finger, and they begin to run forward as if in a swarm towards these chains. Eric, can I have another willpower roll, please?
Absolutely. I mean, why not? Let's keep it going. I don't know the difficulty.
8.
1 success.
All right. You feel a fury boil up from somewhere deep inside you as these dolls begin to tear into the eldritch chains. And you realize that someone is interfering. Someone is once again trying to take Jessica from you. And you can feel the staff already moving to form arcane sigils in the air. Some that you've never seen before, but you can tell will be devastating in power. How does Erik feel at the moment?
Well, devastating is subjective to who it is devastating to. Devastating to me, devastating to Jessica, devastating to Enzo. How do
you know they will not hurt you, and they are going to protect Jessica?
So how do I feel? I feel like I need to protect her at all costs. If that includes giving in to this power, then I will do so.
You allow more of this anger to boil forward, and the chains begin to change shape. They go from these wrought iron, eldritch green things into creatures, abominations made out of green flame that look almost irradiated. They begin to pull themselves from the chains and from the ground and begin to rip and to tear into these dolls. And a laughter begins to fill the area. And Erik, you realize the laughter is coming from you. And as you laugh and laugh, you realize it feels good. Finally, you are not afraid. You have the power to protect Jessica, a power you had not had before, you didn't have when you faced Enzo. But finally, it's here. Elias and Oliver, you all experience something different. You see Azariah pull herself to her feet, a trickle of blood going down the front of her face, and she barks out something in a language I don't believe either of you speak. I don't think any of you can speak Creole, unless you guys are more linguistic than I anticipated. And you see dozens of these golden dolls begin to come out of the edges of her dress and her wrist, and begin to run forward and begin to rip these eldritch chains away. And she looks at you all and she goes, "We will have many, many words to explain just what is going on here, but I'm going to need your help. This is going to end poorly. And what are the two of you doing?
Everything seems fine to me, guys. Just take a seat. Everything's fine. Just back up.
Elias is trying to figure out if throwing the doll into the fire is going to do any good right now.
He's like, yeah, what's the worst that can happen, right?
You-
Would my throwing this do anything at all?
There's some good lighting in my window.
One way to find out.
I'd appreciate it if you can get your friend to stop messing with diabolic magic, for one.
Diabolic. What do you mean?
We don't have time to ask 100 questions if we do not stop what happens next. This wraith is going to be in a fate that is arguably worse than serving some vampire.
Okay, well, that's I guess I guess one question, 100 questions, same thing really. But you know, time is of the essence. Oliver can appreciate that. Oliver just doesn't know how to fight a wraith.
You begin to hear a cackling laugh that fills the area around you, and it hits you to your bones. And you feel a primal fear, an instinctual fear. And I need for both of you to make me a willpower roll.
Like Oliver and Elias, or
That's Oliver and Elias.
but why?
What's my difficulty?
7.
And
No.
oh,
1 success.
You are terrified.
0 successes.
get out of
Oliver-
here, mortal humans.
You are terrified and frozen in place for the time being, as the inner part of your soul is quaking at the idea of moving closer to whatever it is that is inhabiting your friend, your cabal mate. Elias, you feel this same terror, but a part of you is able to hold on and push past it, and you can take an action. So what would you like to do?
Trying to think what's going to be less harmful. Using correspondence, can I try and cut the connection at all or disrupt it between Quinn and the staff?
You could attempt to send the staff to another location.
Okay, let's give that a good old whirl.
Okay. All right. So you wish to take an object that is being held and send it to a different place. So that will definitely be a correspondence 3 effect. However, you are currently not in a techno magic helpful area, so your magic is going to be vulgar with witnesses. Actually, let me just double check. I want to make sure that the sanctum makes things vulgar with witnesses.
We're all mages here. Ain't no witnesses. The dolls shouldn't count.
I saw it.
But-
I saw. I'm a witness. I'm witnessing this.
Can I get a
But
witness?
sanctums are particularly painful places.
It's fine.
But let me just double. Let me
Fine.
see. It is considered. Oh, it is okay. It is just vulgar. It is not vulgar with witnesses, and I don't see anything that refutes that. So it'll be considered vulgar without witnesses. So the base difficulty is going to be 7.
I'm spending a point of willpower.
All right, and so roll me your Arte, difficulty 7,
Oh, Lord.
and Eric, I need for you to roll me for your Arte. In this case, difficulty 5. Well,
I only-
5 dice at difficulty 7, and whoever gets more successes will be succeeding.
Sorry, difficulty 7 for me or 5?
7. 5. You're rolling 5 dice because you're new RTA, but they're at difficulty 7. I mixed those
With
up.
the willpower, 2 successes.
Also 2 successes.
All right. So you all are. Does Erik wish to spend a point of willpower?
Obviously. At this point, I feel like my mind's breaking a little bit, as if I am singularly focused on an objective, and that is to tear Jessica's spirit from this other entity.
Ree.
And if anyone opposes me from doing that, I'm 100% going to... Yeah.
Did that reduce my difficulty at all?
Oh, your glasses? What are your glasses?
No, my eye.
Would your eye? Sure. I would say this is technically a correspondence effect. Sure. So it'll be 6 for you.
Okay, then it would have been 3.
Well, if I spend the willpower, it's also 3.
So 3 successes. So you all tie. So this is what's going to happen. Elias, you attempt to force this staff out of this area, and you can feel the world around you constricting, almost as if you're caught in a vice, holding you in place. And you see for just a moment the staff begins to fade out of existence. You can see what looks to be digital code begin to spread up along the base of the staff before the eldritch flames coalesce and begin to burn through it. And it almost looks as if Erik is holding a burning torch in his hand instead of an eldritch staff. Unfortunately, you are unable to push it away. However, I will say any Imagine on the next turn will be increased in difficulty, thanks to Elias's attempt to interfere. So, I need for Erik to roll me another 5 dice, as it is Azariah's turn to do things.
Can I see that? Obviously, I can see Elias is trying to prevent me from accomplishing my goal. Yes,
you're aware of that. Yes.
I'm imagining because he's using the eye, it's just glowing pure blue at this point.
Can I slow time to give myself more time to complete my ritual?
Sure. Time, so manipulating time is a difficult thing to do, but you can do it. It'll be vulgar without witnesses.
I don't give a shit. Bring on the paradox.
If he's doing time, can I use my entropy to fuck with it?
I also have entropy.
First, roll me 5 dice, difficulty 7 for the temporal effect.
Yes. 3 successes.
All right, so you begin to modify time, but just as your effect begins to take root, the rest of you see something that doesn't entirely make a lot of sense. You see spectral hands begin to reach up from the ground and wrap around Erik's legs as moss-covered hands begin to reach out from the forest around him and almost begin to pile on top of him as I roll 6 successes to prevent this from happening. And you see what looks to be almost like zombies begin to grab hold and pull him down.
Just let me be. Let me be.
All right. So there's going to be one more round of actions before things happen. Oliver, as you have been observing this, is there anything you would like to do?
We're here for a purpose, Oliver. We're here for a purpose. Help me.
Oliver pulls out his PDF. What to
Persuasion
do
roll.
with
Persuasion roll.
spirits? Shit. Oh, well, I must consult the tomes.
Oliver, for heaven's sakes, will you just clock him?
Clock him? I don't have a clock.
There are things in the chantry that could be done. You could call for help, Oliver. You could attempt to use other forms of magic on your companion. You could attempt to attack them physically. You could attack Azariah physically if you like. There are many choices.
You could help. You could help me.
There are many choices.
Hey, have
Oliver's
you
not
ever
sure how to
thought
help.
about being a homeowner in Cleveland of a node, a magical node? I'm just saying, it's on the table.
Or you
On
could
the
do
table.
nothing. There are options. You could choose to observe.
Where is Chiharu when I need him?
He's dealing with werewolf stuff. Don't worry about it.
I would need spirit to directly intervene, wouldn't I? Aside from just like you said, physically incapacitating Erik.
You would need spirit to affect the spiritual component, but you could use other spheres to do other things, including you could command the wind to remove the staff from his hands, for example. You could set something on fire. That is really a reliable tactic for things in existence, really. Depending on other spheres you have, you can affect other things around you as well in different ways.
I plead with you, Oliver. I plead with you to help me finish this. Now is the time. She's right here.
Could I use mind to try and unlock Eric's full capacity to achieve his end goals?
The house is yours. Take it. I don't give a shit. Take the house.
So, if I understand what you want to do, as you wish to use mind in order to make Eric's abilities better than before. Is that correct?
I believe that would be a accurate summary. Yes, since Oliver doesn't specifically know how to achieve Eric's goal, and he wants to support his friend here, and so he's trying to support him, and the only way that he can think at the moment to potentially do so, because interrupting the ritual wouldn't necessarily support his friend. It would it would crap on his day, and that would not be a fun thing to do. So Oliver's thinking we should support our friend Erik, and a good way to do that would, if I don't know how, perhaps we can help give Erik some more insight into what he already knows. He just needs to dig a little deeper. Sometimes you just gotta get an extra set of keys to unlock the potential you already have.
Okay. Erik, what is your current unspent willpower?
4. I did use
Oliver.
1 willpower against Elias, so I'm down to 4.
Okay, Oliver, roll me your Arte at difficulty 4.
Okay.
You say Erik, right?
Oliver, not Erik.
Oh, not Erik. Okay.
Erik.
Thank God.
Oliver.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun.
believe in you. I believe in you.
3 successes.
Okay.
3 out of 3.
So, you attempt to interfere with Eric's mind, and you feel successful. You feel something kind of recoil as you interfere, and something is being suppressed inside of Eric's mind. And you can all see as Eric's posture kind of straightens. They look more determined, more powerful. From this point forward, all future willpower rolls to resist the effects of the staff for the rest of the scene have been reduced down. The dice pool have been reduced by 3, Erik. Which means I need for you to make me another willpower roll at difficulty 8.
Sure. Difficulty 8. Jeez.
8.
Went from 11 to 8.
That's 11 is more than my dice.
The dice pool has been reduced by 3, not the difficulty.
Gotcha.
So I have 4 willpower left. Difficulty 8. 0 successes. Can I willpower it? Can I willpower 1 success?
You can do as you please.
I'm all in. You know what I mean? I'm all chips in this.
Wish
did
to
that.
spend
1
it, you
success.
can. Okay.
1 success.
You, Eric, you feel, you know, you are so close to being able to save Jessica from
Elias,
a
help me out.
fate
Come on, help me out.
worse than death. And you tap into just a bit more of the staff's power, the latent will inside.
I start eating the fire.
And-
Oh, bellfire.
And you all watch as a single neon green hand reaches out from Eric's staff, wraps around Jessica, and almost throws her into this doll. The doll immediately turns a deeper shade of green before shrinking down into the size of about an action figure. And now I need for Elias to make me a dexterity and athletics roll, please.
Let's see here.
Elias, I am so close.
How much? What's the difficulty?
Help me, please.
You know, I was going to say 8, but I think there is an actual roll for this. So let me just get my Book of the Fallen out, and we'll see. Fire, fire, fire. There it is. There it is.
I miss Vampire where I can search stuff.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't. All right, so I will say the difficulty will be. Jeez, we'll say
11.
it's 7. We'll say it's 7.
7.
Still pretty hard.
With my correspondence stuff still active, can I attempt to correspondence myself?
You wish to teleport yourself to another location.
Not another location, just another part in this area, like out of the way.
The difficulty will still be vulgar, so it'll be difficulty 7. And I'll say you only need 1 success to teleport to another place.
Does my eye help at all?
Sure, it'll reduce difficulty by 1.
2 successes.
You are able to, just as a wave of green neon flames shoot towards both you and Azariah, you are able to almost force your understanding of creation on the space around you, and the world shudders as digital code begins to cover the ground and the trees around you, and you are blinked out of existence before reappearing about 10 feet away. Now let's see what happens to our other person. Oh wait, oopsie, those are d20s. Well, that's not good for her. Roll me 5 dice at difficulty 6, Eric.
Eric. 5 dice at difficulty 6.
Yep.
That's good. That's good. That's good. It's going to be 4 successes out of 5. Is that good or bad? I don't know what that means.
Cool.
Is it good?
Cool,
You're
cool,
saying
cool,
good.
cool,
You're saying good. I don't know what that means, Reed. I don't know what that means.
Cool.
Is this Azariah? Something
This
bad
is
happening to
fun.
Azariah? She's been very helpful so far.
Okay, let me just make sure there's no extra damage modifiers for this. Okay. So, Elias and Oliver, just as Elias, as you are kind of reappearing in this space, you see a gout of this neon green flame fire forward in completely coat Azariah's form. Pure green, pure neon green flames engulf her. And I think that moment, with that visual, is where we are going to take our break for the evening.
Oh no.
So we will be back in about 10 to 15 minutes to see just what happens after this. Hello everyone, welcome back to our wonderful game of Mage the Ascension. Our wonderful cabal is in the middle of a very tense situation, and I would not want to keep them away from what's getting ready to happen, or what isn't getting ready to happen, you never know. So, as we pick up, you will see Azariah is blasted by a gout of these neon green flames. There is no sound, there is no cries of pain, nothing of the sort. And then Eric's form continues to laugh. The voice becomes drier and more desiccated, almost like an intense smoker. And they turn towards you two, Elias and Oliver. And this does not sound like that. Elias and Oliver. What are you two doing?
Wondering, Oliver's wondering if Erik has this whole thing under control, because it seems like it might be going sideways.
I want this. It's fine.
Erik, you doing okay there, buddy? See,
He does not answer. He does not respond. He does not answer. Does not answer your question.
Eric's like, it's fine, everything's fine. Like, okay, well, I guess shit. Oliver looks over to Elias.
We
Well?
need to get help. I'm pretty sure that staff is possessing him.
Erik! Erik!
I respond in a Skeletor voice. We're all fine. Everything's okay.
The head just does like a 180 spin. He's like, yeah, he's fine.
He really is not. This whole thing has gone belly up. I think we really need to go get someone in charge.
Can I have you roll? Can I have you roll me your dexterity plus 4 dice, please?
Erik?
Yes.
Dexterity plus what?
4.
Elias, I believe communications is more your forte.
Dexterity plus what?
4 dice. Dexterity,
Just
then 4 dice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What am I shooting for?
Oh, I believe difficulty 5.
It's going to be 4 out of 4 successes, baby.
Ooh, cool. Elias, can I have you do me a favor and roll me your dexterity and athletics, please?
Do this to me.
Difficulty 6.
1 success.
Can I have you roll your stamina at difficulty 9, please?
Oh god, just my stamina?
Just your stamina.
Gosh darn it. 1 success.
Okay. So, I have news as Erik turns and throws a hand forward. A wave of green flames, of neon green fire, will blast into you. You manage to
Ow.
soak 1 level of damage, which leaves another 4 levels of damage for you to take. And it is aggravated damage.
I do not know how to do this over here. Where am I clicking down until?
So you mark down 4 levels total, and it should be the symbol that looks like an X, but then a line through it, within a line through it, on your health.
Ow.
Ow. Okay. Can I? God, it's gonna be vulgar. Can I teleport myself out of this room and down to the VA area?
You're welcome to try.
Well, give it a shot. Or can I use a mind effect and try to connect with whoever's in charge of my area?
Sure, you could do either of those.
Okay, I will do the mind thing.
Okay, that'll be a difficulty 6 effect. Well, yeah, difficulty 6. Well, no, it's difficulty 6. You're in a bad sanctum for you.
Yeah. Damn, no successes.
Well, you are attempting to use your magic while parts of your body are being burned and corrupted away. It is very unpleasant for you, Elias.
Mhm.
Erik, our friend, I need for you to make me a willpower roll.
Sure. Not bad.
Difficulty 8.
2 successes.
All right. You begin to wrest control away from this staff as your goal is complete, and you watch as Elias is blasted with this gout of neon flames. You are actually, how many successes did you say you got?
2 out of 4.
2. Let's see. Okay, that is unfortunate. So you have control over yourself for the time being. What would you like to do?
What would I like to do?
What would you like to do?
Did you say I was successful? I heard
Yes.
successful. I was
You were
successful in doing
successful.
what?
You have pushed the spirit of Jessica inside of a doll.
And away from what's his face?
You assume so?
Okay. If I'm done, then I'm done. I would like to. And do I see that I'm hurting Elias?
You can see that a significant portion of Elias's body is burned with neon fire. It looks even more that just outside of burns, it almost like the flesh is being corrupted and changed.
Erik, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, I would like to turn off the staff. Can I let it go?
Maybe to the willpower roll.
Staff on, staff off.
Not bad.
Same
Difficulty?
difficulty 8.
2 successes.
But 2 successes. I will say you can let it go. You couldn't really say.
I'd like to let go of the staff and then rush over to Elias.
You are able to release it. You make your way over to Elias. Elias is still conscious. Elias, you are in a lot of pain. It's very agonizing.
Yeah,
I would like to help as best I can.
Hold on, Erik. You've done quite enough. Let the experts.
I'm a doctor.
You do have medicine. However, this is certainly no injury you've ever seen before in your life.
I mean,
but I will
like
allow you to. It is a burn of neon green flame of burning hellfire.
I am a mage surgeon. I'm just saying.
Just put a little rubber token on it. It's fine.
Roll intelligence and medicine at difficulty 9. And we'll see how
Sure
you do.
thing. 1, 2, 3. I'm assuming the surgery doesn't help me. I don't know if creative helps me. Difficulty 9, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Still, that's a lot of dice. All right. Well, that's 2 successes out of 8 dice. There are 2 10s, by the way. I don't know if that helps me.
Do you have a specialty in healing?
I have a specialty in medicine, which is specifically surgery. I don't know how that helped me, but it's medical.
Do you have life magic?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Do you have life 3?
I don't think I got life. I think I have life 2.
So you
I have life
can.
2.
So with your medical knowledge, you can make them feel better.
Well, that's all I'm trying
That's
to
about
do.
it.
So,
Sure.
I'd
so
like to reduce pain.
You begin
could.
to work, and Elias, the pain is slightly less worse than the worst pain you've ever felt in your life.
Sorry.
I am going to take that staff and shove it up yours.
For those of you who've seen Two-Face from Batman, Elias is doing their best Two-Face impression at the moment.
I'm just smearing cream all over your face. Like, sorry. Shh. It's aloe vera. It's good. It's cool. It's soothing. It's nice and cool.
And I have everyone make me a perception and alertness roll. Elias, you should have a -2 dice penalty for this.
I do.
I don't know if the bot will automatically do that for you or not. But
Oh no, I just deducted 2 from my dice. Cool.
Somebody's too good to
I do not
7.
trust Roll20. Roll20 will never
7? God bless America.
will
Dude.
never sponsor us because I talk shit about it all the time. It was 7.
Stop doing
No.
doing that.
No. It was
It's okay.
DC 7?
Yep.
Yeah.
1.
1.
2.
Oh, look at Mr. Special over here.
I mean, I'm at least 1 better than you. I'm just saying.
Go ahead, continue your conversation.
Sorry.
Do not take me
Okay.
downstairs. I'm going to bite you when I get the feeling back in my half my
Face?
body.
In your face? Yeah, I know. It's bad. Don't look in the mirror for a while. Oliver, thank you, by the way. You're a champion.
That's I'm glad to see everything worked out. Now, Elias, you seem to be in a bit of pain from Eric's little outburst. Let's see what we can do about that.
No, I got this, and I like dig out a bunch of cream and
No, I kindly, respectfully, I would like to go downstairs and away from this place.
All right, that's fair.
I'm going to go to bed
yeah,
after I see whatever medic I can find.
Azariah, I am sincerely sorry for what transpired. I didn't know there'd be such opposition.
As you look up to find her, you do not see her. All of you see a woman standing about a few feet next to you all, about where Azariah had been standing. She's wearing a very nice jacket, coat, this kind of very buttoned up in the front with these strange symbols on them that Elias and Erik, you have never seen. For you, Oliver, though, you recognize them. She's in this kind of high-necked tailcoat. You recognize them as Nokian symbols, or the symbols of angels, the language of angels. And she looks at each of you and then looks over at Azariah, and you see she waves a hand, and in the palm of her hand is this series of rings that almost begin to glow, and Azariah disappears. And then she turns and she looks at the three of you. And now that she's looking directly at her, you can see she has this kind of mellow, deep brown skin with warm gold undertones. She looks to be maybe in her early 30s. And she carries herself with a dignity that is both intimidating and confident. How fascinating.
Sorry, who are you?
Have...
Did you say her name was Aria?
You have not seen her before.
Okay.
Wouldn't-
Just making sure
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I heard it right.
She's not said her name.
Oh, okay.
In your current predicament, that is the question you want to ask me?
Yes. And also what happened to Azariah?
I have sent her to be taken care of.
Why did she be taken care of?
Because someone saw fit to blast her with hellfire.
She's fine. She's fine, right? Is she okay though?
No. To answer your question, I am Master Yoka Sophia Banishea. And you are in my chantry, or at least a portion of it. There are many things that you all will have to explain to me in time.
Like what? Nothing's going on? Everything's fine here?
The next
yes.
few words she says are in a language none of you have heard before. It sounds almost divine to hear. And as you try to wrap your minds around the words, they seem to fade away. Almost as if the harder you work to hear them, to understand them, the harder they seem to be to get away from you. And as soon as she finishes, Elias, you feel the flesh on your body begin to regrow itself. And the burn marks fade, and after a few seconds, you feel fine. Better than fine. You feel better than you've ever felt before.
Now where's that stuff? I promised it was going up your arse. Struggling to get up. Do I remove my owls?
Yes, you are healed.
Yay! Can we please leave this place?
I feel like the cops just showed up, so I'm just remaining silent.
She doesn't say anything more, but she does walk over and you see her pick up the doll that you sealed Jessica inside.
That's mine.
She ignores you. And she makes her way over to the staff. She doesn't pick it up. Instead, she waves a hand. And for just a moment, the world shimmers. And the staff seems to fade away. It appears that you all have been dabbling in infernalism, though it does not seem to me that you are aware of what this staff is.
You are wrong. It was only I. I am the only one who used its magic. Elias and Oliver had nothing to do with it. And Jaharu was nowhere present at the time. This is my burden alone.
Oliver, if I recall correctly, you are of the Order, are you not?
Well, indeed.
And have your educators explained to you the story of House Janissary?
No, I don't believe we've gotten to that particular bit of history. There's so much to cover.
Wonderful. House Janissary once thought they would be executioners, the police, for all of the traditions, but ultimately fell to infernalism, the allure of power. Do you know what happened to House Janissary?
Well, from the sound of it, I can surmise that they went down a road of self-destruction and caused a lot of problems for themselves and everyone else.
That is a very kind way of putting it. They were slaughtered, removed root and stem. So it does not particularly matter to me which of you dabbled in forbidden magic. It would be better to eliminate all of you.
Even if the dabbling was unbeknownst to those who were doing it. If Erik didn't know the magic was forbidden, how is he to know to avoid it?
The humans have a term they like to use. I believe it is ignorance of the law is no defense. You will find that is doubly true for our kind.
Oh, so if someone happens to wander upon an object and accidentally, or not accidentally, but use it without knowing they aren't supposed to, then they are, by extension, guilty and passed on to the gallows.
Yes. Though I find it hard to believe you all didn't suspect something was wrong. Hellfire, especially of this magnitude, is not known for its subtleness. You all would have noticed
Is that what it is?
something
Hellfire?
wrong. Yes, to be exact, it is
Interesting.
burning ephemera. I am to believe one of your members is a lupine, or at least related to one. I imagine they were able to warn you of the foul influence, unless I have misunderstood much about their kind.
I didn't say anything about it being hellfire. I think the term they used was balefire, but I was not sure of the association. We knew it was obviously that it being not the best of objects. We thought that the device may be evil of some sorts, though the exact nature haven't been able to study yet.
So many excuses. It is disappointing, especially if I'm a member of the Order.
Well, it's
It
not
is
my toy.
expected from the other two, though I imagine the Euthanatos will be particularly unhappy. They do not enjoy one of theirs clinging to the world of the dead. Either way, it does not matter. For now, you all will owe Adept Azariah a major debt. If she were to pass from this world, then your debts will be life debts owed to the Chantry itself, or to her master, whichever one ends up being more effective. I will speak with the other masters to determine if any of you deserve more formal punishments. For now, return to your quarters. You will be unable to leave the Chantry for the foreseeable future, and to do so will mark yourselves as enemies of this Chantry and most likely the greater traditions as a whole.
Listen, Oliver, I appreciate you sticking your neck out for me, but there's no reason to deceive her. She's clearly an idiot or deaf. I said it, this burden was mine alone. They had no knowledge of it prior to. And I made the decision to use this selfishly. If you do not wish to listen to reason or the truth, that is your prerogative.
And I will back him up on that. I did try to take it away from him.
They all
I
did.
am aware of what you attempted to do. I am aware what you all attempted to do. There will
I'm
be
assuming Yanka's a she, by the
opportunities.
way. I'm referring to her.
Yes.
But if it's a
yes.
he, let me know.
That's it's on.
Okay.
I'm not very. My voice is not capable of womanly.
Oh, I do declare.
Speak.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Depending on the mage, it's whatever it wants to be.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Fine.
Just to be clear, I'm referring to her as an idiot or deaf. Yes.
You all will have plenty of opportunities to speak in your own defense. Now you should leave before you make the situation worse on yourself.
I'll take that doll, though.
I'm sure you would like to.
I'll take that doll now, though.
Those dolls are creepy. So you mean didn't set well.
Sleight of hand check.
I would suggest for you two to take your companion and be on your way.
Eric, let's go rest. She will be fine.
Go gadget Chantry?
For once, I will listen to Elias and take my leave.
All right. A few moments later, you all are walking away from the forest and you're back into the halls of the Chantry proper. And I leave the scene to the three of you.
Chara's going to be so pissed.
Oh, well, that can't be that can't be helped.
Elias, I'm so sorry. I did not intend to cause you harm. But you did try to stop me, though, so,
We had a deal that you would not use the stuff.
Did you use your computer since you've been here?
I repaired it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Did you have to boot it up to repair it? Yeah. You booted it up, didn't you?
No,
yeah,
you told me no hacking. You told me not to hack. I did not do any hacking. I booted up my computer to see that if it worked.
Insight roll.
Was that a DOS boot?
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to use it, but we were calling upon the spirits, and I have a staff that lets me control all things spirits. I would have been an idiot not to use it.
Didn't Chiharu say something about balefire and that you probably shouldn't use it? That if I'm correctly remembering, something about werewolves don't like it?
Well, luckily, we're mages and not werewolves. So fuck Chiharu and his family. Okay. They don't get to determine what I do or what we do. I respect his opinion and I made a note. But his family's not my family. And I don't care if they hate me. Okay. We're not dating. And ultimately, I have a goal. And the outcome of the situation was not perfect. However, Jessica is safe to an extent. And with us. So ultimately, I'd call this a success.
Well, you know, I think that the only possible solution for this going forward would be more study while we're stuck at the chantry for God knows how long.
I actually second that. That's actually a great idea.
You can learn all about the spirit magic that the staff opened your eyes to, but learn to use it without that apparently evil.
Well, I have the time now. There's no evil Enzo controlling my fiance's dead spirits to do God knows what. We have time. And that's something we didn't have before. Thus, success.
Yes, we were definitely a little bit crunched for the time thing before.
If anything, staying at the chantry is the safest thing for us because I'm sure Enzo's going to be pissed.
Yes, well, we can prepare better and find Enzo and erase him later.
I'm still okay for that. I'm still down for that plan.
One less annoying vampire in the world.
And we're all the better for it.
And so is everyone else. Not you, Elias. Use a new laptop, couldn't you?
I repaired mine. I'm going to bed. I need to be away from both of you for a couple of hours before I lose my temper with both of you.
I'm sorry, Eric's slathering was not effective method of healing, but I could have helped, but it's okay.
This is my home remedy, okay, of soothing.
Listen,
moisturizing gel.
I know we had a fun time drinking, but the solution to every problem isn't just rubbing cream all over it.
I mean, 60% of the time.
All the time.
It works every time. Fair enough. And I totally understand, Elias, if you would like to get some rest away from us. Again, sorry.
Go call my husband and tell him I nearly died.
Oh, that's the
What
nice
time
thing
it is
about
in
death.
Edinburgh.
You either are dead or you're not dead. So
I'm gonna walk to his room.
Okay.
Oh. Oliver.
Elias is going to their room.
I could use a drink. Want to go for round two?
I don't know if I want to get that silly drunk. That was fun, though.
I just pulled my fiance's spirit from an evil vampire into a doll that now is small and glows with a neon green hue. No, I'm getting fucked up, Oliver, and I could use some company.
I'm more than willing to provide the company. Perhaps if you drink enough, the doll will talk to you.
Sold. Let's go.
Oh, right. Well, somebody's got to be the designated healer.
True. And I go into wherever in the chantry where I can get shit-faced.
All right. So, Eric and Oliver wish to spend their evening drinking, which is perfectly fine. Do you all retire to your rooms after you finish drinking, or do you stay there until sleep takes you?
I'll be drinking and reading, and
He's a
keeping an eye on Eric
designated
to
person.
yes,
Yeah.
making sure Eric doesn't get into too much trouble. You know, we don't need a repeat of the werewolf situation at the chantry.
I'm not sure how far I go, Mr. Storyteller, but I would like to continue drinking until I can't feel feelings anymore, if that's possible.
Sure. Sure. You
So
will
if I
drink.
can stumble after that while holding on to Oliver's shoulder, then yes, he can take me back to my room. Otherwise, I'm totally okay passing out at the bar or wherever this is.
Roll me a D100. You can make it back to your room if you roll a 25 or lower.
And if he can't, Oliver will figure something out.
89.
You are unconscious.
You know what, Eric? I forget Jessica, I love her.
All right. Well, I knew that was a likely outcome.
That was 2 drinks. I talk a big game, but
It's okay.
I can't play.
You should drink Power Thirst. Then it would have been 1 drink.
All right. So eventually, you two make it back to your rooms. Elias, you attempt to call your husband, but you find you are unable to make the call. You are unable to connect outside of the chantry.
I hate this place.
Don't we all?
Grumbles and goes to take a shower so he can go to bed.
Okay. So you all are able to finish up your sleep, your rest, and you all wake up the next day, separate rooms. First of all, you recover your willpower, so you do gain point of willpower. Excuse me.
Eric wakes up in a new
And-
set of clothes. His are in the dryer.
And as you awaken, you each find a person waiting for you. They are dressed in a dark black suit. They are part of their face is covered as if in kind of in like a very like a half porcelain mask. And they each carry a curved sword on one hip. And they wait for you all
In our room or just outside?
outside.
Good. Okay, just checking.
Like waiting over the bed.
Yeah, I sleep in the buff, so I put on pants.
No.
No, I don't put on pants. Fine, I'm naked and I walk outside.
You all are able to prepare yourselves.
Eric
You
walks
all
out to
are.
Do you want to compare swords?
All right. Giggity-goo.
The individuals do not say anything, but as you step out, they nod to you and begin to lead you from your rooms.
I have like a glass of water and Alka-Seltzer, and I'm wearing sunglasses. Oh God, what do you want?
No response.
Okay, I'm just going to turn away from that person and start walking.
Hello, who are you?
Roll me your art. If you are attempting to leave, actually no. Roll me your willpower at difficulty 7.
Sure, but I slept, right?
You gained 1 point of willpower back.
Two successes.
2.
Yep. 2.
Elias and Oliver, are you attempting to walk away from these people?
No.
I was attempting to conversate with them.
I tried. They didn't speak, so I just left.
Eric, as you attempt to walk away, you know what you were intending to do, but you find yourself following behind this figure anyway. And you attempt to concentrate and to turn away again, only to find yourself following right behind them. Each time you try, you seem to just end up following behind them anyway.
Hydrate. I hydrate as much as I can before I reach my destination.
Mm-hmm. And all three of you are led into a room. This room looks to be ancient in design. It has stone walls. The opposite wall from the doorway you all enter is open, but it is in kind of a Roman marble architecture. It has 4 pillars, and then you can see the garden below you. The garden where Bonnie liked to play. And you all are led in there by the mysterious individuals, and then they leave you. And a moment later, you see the world kind of shimmer, almost as if in a heat haze. And Master Ayoka seems to just appear in front of you. Hello. I hope your mornings were somewhat pleasant.
And
Still
we all
wearing my
immediately
sunglasses, and
recognize,
I'm like curled up with my glass. I'm like, oof.
we can all immediately recognize this particular master, right?
Yes, it is the same
Oh.
woman that met you in the forest the day before.
Right. Okay. Good morning. Yes, I slept pleasantly. Erik may need a little hair of the dog, however.
Gain control of yourselves. Must admit, I have not had the displeasure of speaking with so many undisciplined individuals. We have been considering the nature of your punishment.
Sorry, punishment for what?
A number of different things you've done just since being inside the chantry.
I would like to know a list of our charges, please.
Chief amongst them, infernalism, harboring our ancient magical artifacts, which we will get to in a moment, and assaulting another member of the chantry in a non-sanctioned duel. Attempting to
Trumped up.
assault another chantry member. And it was only by generous definitions that it is being considered attempting. Apparently there are others who feel you all are valuable in some way. Regardless, these are serious charges.
Bullshit
Do you wish to
charges, I'm sure.
say... Do you wish to say anything in your defense?
I have a quick question, Master. If the Chantry leadership knew what Erik was holding on to, knew about it, knew what it was capable of, why was he allowed to retain it and do what he willed with it?
Fortunately, it was not until you all started to use it for higher level magical abilities that we realized what was going on.
So
There
you're
aren't...
incompetent. Great. This chantry, fucking shit.
Roll me a willpower roll.
Sure thing.
Difficulty 8.
2 successes.
You, for a moment, you feel sharp fingers dig into your chest, and you'll see, almost phasing into the world for just a second, a woman covered in skeletal bones. The bones are cracked in some places, but it almost looks like a crown on her head. And as she removes her hands from your chest, the bones begin to refix themselves. And for just a moment, you see the face of a woman that is as beautiful as she is terrifying. She looks clearly pale, as if dead, but her eyes seem to be more alive than anyone you've ever seen before. And then she disappears.
Do all of us see it, or just Eric?
All three of you see it. Very quick. I would appreciate it if you are able to keep your rowdiness to yourself, Mr. Tristan.
But of course, next time, don't ask if we have anything to say.
I am offering you all the ability to say something in your defense. Does he speak for all three of you?
Absolutely not.
No, my friend Eric here can be a bit on the rowdy, boisterous. Some might call it rude. I like to think of it as spirited side.
Rude. They're lying. They're making up. Not all. Okay, all right. Dealing with evil magic. Okay, yeah, I did that. I admitted to that yesterday. But intentionally hurting or attempting to harm others, that was not my intention. That was simply accidental. So to charge me with that is absolutely ridiculous. Thank you very much. Hiding a powerful magical artifact, with all due respect, has been in the Chantry for months. So if you're unable to detect and or ask or deal with it in any way, that's kind of on you. Don't put that on me. I wasn't actively hiding it from anyone. Did I keep it in my room? Sure.
I just want to be sure it is your position that you blasting 2 of your Chantry mates was not an attack. It was an accident.
Listen, Eric, don't say anything that can be used against you in a court of law.
It was a
If you can't afford an
100%
attorney, one will be provided for you.
an accident. It was not intentional at all.
And the cackling you were doing while doing so was...
Well, clearly it was the first charge of the dealing with the evil powers, which I admitted to. But again, harming anyone else was simply accidental. There was no attempt on anyone.
It's speaking in my friend's defense. I am fairly certain that staff possessed him, which is why I was trying to get it away from him.
The defense calls Elias to the stand.
Oh, good lord, please don't do that.
After the event finished, what was the first thing that I did?
He did attempt to heal me.
Ran to her aid.
You blasted them twice.
The
with
staff
eldritch
blasted
fire.
them. I mean, that was not me.
Of course it wasn't.
As I said, Master, that the staff appeared to be possessing him, so I don't think all of the actions were entirely his own.
Is
I
that
did.
the first time you used the power of the staff?
In the Chantry, absolutely. It's the first time.
That was not the question I asked you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Was that the first time you used the power of the staff?
Knowing that what it was going to do, yes, that was the first time I've ever done that, yes.
It was not the question I asked you.
I'm sorry. Can you be more clear that maybe I'm missing the question?
While Mr. Tristan gets their act in order, did the two of you experience changes in their behavior the last time or times they used the staff?
With my eidetic memory, did I see any changes in Erik?
You witnessed Erik brutally blasting several ghosts to reforming parts of the Umbra in their power, and then displaying considerable power that is far beyond anything you've ever seen them use since or before then.
But did I have complete control of my
Did-
faculties?
but-
That
but
was the
yeah,
question.
Yeah, did he appear to be
You
not Erik?
have
Yes, he
never
did.
seen Erik brutally blast ghost or any other thing like that before.
But would
You
it
can't
mean
say
something?
for sure that Erik is not secretly merciless towards Ghost, but you've never seen them be merciless since anything else. So you think it's probably not common from him.
Yeah, I have a fairly good memory. I'm not certain. I know this past time it was a definite possession. Because he was not acting himself.
You remember that time when we were all going to die vampire using my magical staff? Yeah, you're welcome.
Were you ever warned about the corrupting influence of the staff or such magics?
We didn't know about that.
No, I think the only thing Chiharu said was about the balefire.
Yes. Balefire, hellfire, they are the same thing. So you are warned about its darker nature.
Well,
And-
we didn't know that the Hellfire and Balefire were the same thing. This was actually, I think, most of us, except for maybe Chiharu's first time encountering or even hearing of Balefire. Though, if we had made the connection and known it was synonymous with Hellfire, I think it may have given us some more pause.
But your companion did indeed warn you that the Guru consider it evil.
Well, yes, but
I mean, yeah, but
The Guru are a very superstitious lot.
So the three of you have had more than a few warnings about the darkness of the object you were using.
yes,
you could say the same thing about guns or knives or magic. It's all about how it's used.
and to be honest, I don't think any of us
Are you
are.
arguing that infernal magic is acceptable, Mr. Tristan?
In the right circumstances, I believe even the Chantry would consider using its power for the greater good. Yes. If
Oliver
the
takes
right
a step to the
circumstances.
side.
Do you two agree with your cabal, mate?
Absolutely not.
I don't know that I would chance dabbling in the infernal arts after what I've read in my studies. I haven't had a whole lot of firsthand experience, but it doesn't
And-
seem to be something that is worth the risk.
And I don't deal with spirits. Even the normal ones, why would I be bothered to deal with anything outside of that realm? I stick to computers for a reason.
Unlike a certain movie I once saw, I am afraid of those ghosts.
I will be kind enough not to consider your blatant attempts at misrepresenting the truth to be deceitful, but I am still counting arguably
misrepresenting the truth?
3. I am counting 3 attempts, 3 violations of high crimes.
Please justify them.
Diabolism, You have nearly killed Azariah, though she is technically not died. Therefore, I cannot consider it to be murder.
Accidental and unintentional.
I could help Azariah.
You quite clearly attacked her.
Unintentionally and accidentally, yes.
You may justify it as you please.
You may
And
apparently justify it as you please.
I have decided to save Elias's life. Though there's no proof that what happened to Elias would have killed them, there is a very high chance that it would have. On top of the punishments explained last night, you all will be subjected to an ordeal. You will be expected to complete a task for the Chantry. Upon completion of this task, Oliver and Elias, your sins will be washed away. Tristan, you will be marked for a year, after which your punishments will be ended. Is there anything else you wish to say?
Go fuck yourself.
I'm just confused. If Oliver nor I dealt with the staff, why are we lumped in with it?
That's my attitude. They did nothing wrong. I'm taking 100% of the blame. Why are you punishing these people?
Welcome to
Did
corporate
you
America,
stop?
Elias.
Did you stop your cabal mate from doing these crimes?
I
They
literally was
attempted to. Yeah,
trying
they did.
to get the staff out of his hands.
Before things went poorly,
Literally, yes.
before you used it in spirit magic, perhaps when you entered the Chantry from returning to Los Angeles.
Well,
Did
no,
any of you attempt to mention that such an artifact had returned, that had brought danger to many others?
Eric
Did
and
any
I
of you
literally had
warn
a deal.
Azariah what she was getting herself into before things happened?
How are we
Did
supposed
either
to
of you
warn
attempt
her?
to save Azariah's life after she had been injured?
I was
I would have liked
literally,
to, but we weren't
You
given
just
a
disappeared,
chance.
yeah,
You
you
swooped us
glimpsed right out of the
away.
room.
I was literally lying on the ground covered in fire.
I like how you take away the opportunity for us to help and then complain when we don't do that thing that you stole from us.
All had plenty of time to interfere. All of your actions resulted in us being here today. You all could have taken options, but you chose not to.
I literally tried to call for help, and I couldn't. Then he blasted me with the fire.
Your
Azariah disappeared before I
objections.
had chance to, before there was any time to render
I
aid.
am objecting, Master, to the point where you are lumping us all in together without taking individual actions into consideration. I don't think any of us truly realized how
Alright.
dangerous the staff was.
I've seen
Or
this
we
before,
would.
I
Elias.
did, but I admitted it. I was
This
the only
is-
one who's like, yeah,
I
did.
didn't.
I
I don't
I agree
deal
with
with
you.
those stuff.
I agree with you. Yes.
This is typical Mage relations nonsense, Elias. So there has to
Political
be
bullshit.
heads have
more
to
likely,
roll.
yeah.
You did not notice the harm caused by the staff. Is that your belief?
I don't deal with that sort of magic on a daily basis. I cannot definitively say yes or no whether it was dangerous or not, other than the information Chiharu gave me. And then Erik and I made a deal that he was not going to use it and I was not going to do any hacking within the Chantry, which I honored. I fixed my laptop, that was it.
And you did not see it fit to warn anyone.
I didn't
To
realize
tell
it was as
anyone.
dangerous.
Did you not consider the corrupting influences on the mind of your companion?
Well, him and I agreed he wasn't going to use it. And if you guys realized what it was, it should have fallen under your domain to take it away from him. You are masters, we are not.
And it has. And we have decided on the appropriate course of actions. As I said before, your punishments have been decided.
I bet it was
Any
decided before we
further-
showed up and even spoke.
Does seem rather already made up before we were able to say anything.
Bread and circuses, friends. This is just for posterity.
I understand now why the orphans prefer to go by themselves.
I assure you the orphans would have been much worse with your punishments. Even now, you all are being let off easily as far as I am concerned.
No, we are being let off because you guys predetermined a punishment without understanding our side of the story.
You believe there is something that we have not seen?
Yes, the fact that you allowed 3 of us to be around an object that was obviously dangerous. I have only been back with this cabal for less than a week, so I did not know that the staff was in his possession until we were being attacked by a vampire. So how was I supposed to immediately call somebody when we literally got back, went to sleep, and then went to Miss Azariah to help us getting a spirit back?
She waves her hand for a moment, and you all see, almost projected like a TV, the events of your Umbral excursion. And you see Erik begin to obliterate multiple ghosts and reforge pieces of the Umbra, creating a spectral path through it that is almost repulsing the undead and destroying those who get closer to him.
Yeah, that was fun. That was me. I did that.
Yes, but that doesn't look harmful to me. I
No,
don't
it
know.
wasn't.
Yes, I'm
You
not
do
versed in
not
spirit magic.
find the
No.
destruction of the undead even remotely concerning.
I don't know anything about the undead.
Neither
I
do
don't
I.
know that they're being destroyed or displaced, or I don't know what's going on.
For all I know, any master could do that.
And I mean, vampires
Are
are undead, right? We
you
just light
or
them on
your
fire.
companions master magicians?
No, that's the point we're trying to make.
So you saw your friend borrowing magic that is arguably centuries above their level, and you thought that was
Odd.
ordinary. You
No,
did
it
not
was odd.
feel that it was something worth mentioning.
It was odd. But there are many artifacts in this world where someone could get their hands on it. Like I said, I've only been back with this cabal for what? Less than a week? Before we went to Los Angeles? It was
And
what,
given the
3-4 days
Well,
ago?
none of
You
the
all are competing your ordeal. You can reflect on why those things did not raise but warning flags for you.
And why didn't it
Perhaps
raise
you
them
will
for
do
you?
something. I am not watching you all daily.
Who
You
is?
clearly have a recording of the whole thing.
I can see through time, Mr. Tristan. That does not mean I spend my time watching the 3 of you.
So there is no master who could have possibly sensed this artifact come into the chantry multiple times and even
That
stay here during the month.
was what we wanted to know from you all.
Well, I
Where
have only been back
did
for a
you
week.
find it? That item is not an artifact. It appears to be a phylactery for a very powerful magician.
Did you ask where we found it?
Yes.
Would I know what a phylactery is, or would I need to roll knowledge?
You could roll intelligence and occult to see what you know about it.
I mean, generally, I know what a phylactery is.
Out of game.
You could roll.
While he's rolling,
Yeah.
since Yunaka asked, I will let her know. Like, we were on a mission for the Chancery to recover a node in Cleveland, and upon the recovery of that node, we've had to disperse the Balfire, and the staff revealed itself, and we
What
picked the best.
difficulty, Ray?
Yeah. I'll just
7.
relay where we got it. Yeah.
7. And these werewolves that had this staff, they are different from the ones your companions hang out with, yes?
They were black spiral dancers, I believe.
Interesting.
2 successes.
Sure. So with that many successes, you are aware that a phylactery is a method to avoid the final death, to avoid true death. It is a way to bind a soul to an object, and depending on the other details, it could be used to keep someone around after they have died. You know, they are very difficult to make, with there being no one that seems to know, or at least no one you've encountered that knows how to do it.
I think what he's trying to say, Eric, is that because does Eric know anything about them?
As far as you know, he doesn't.
You said I know he does or doesn't?
As far as you know, he doesn't. He's never
Oh, sorry.
talked about phylacteries.
Okay. I think what the master's getting at, Eric, is that this particular staff phylactery thing may be a vessel for the mage who made it. That may be where the
Versus
influence is coming
OC.
from.
What did you roll for to learn about the phylactery? It was
Intelligence and occult.
What was the difficulty?
7.
7.
7. Okay, so I also have I rolled 3 successes for that.
Nice. So you know more.
Okay, you know everything I just said. You also know that phylacteries are designed to. Well, I won't say you know this because you're in the Thanatos. Phylacteries are ways to avoid death. The exact manner to make them is unknown, but it involves mutilating the soul and keeping it inside of an object. I would say you would be aware that should a person use one, it is very likely that their mind could end up being replaced by the person who created it in the first place, and that it is a tainted object. They are usually suffused in whatever it is that person was before. I would say because you've used it, you realize that whoever used it was a master of at least spirit magic, which means that they would be capable of who knows what else with one, but it is incredibly dangerous.
All right. So as Oliver's explained this phylactery to me, first thing that I will note is I was unaware this was a phylactery, that it was a powerful artifact, dark in nature, yes, and I chose alone to use this magic for my own gains, selfishly. I admit that. That is my burden to bear, but it is neither of these. Elias and Oliver had nothing to do with this. To punish them.
Yes, it is very noble of you. We have taken into account your different roles. That is why your punishments are different.
What is my
Does not
punishment again?
change. You all will work together to complete an ordeal for the Chantry, and then you will be marked for an additional year as someone dealing with dark magic. I get the feeling that all 3 of you are lacking in your education, but the mark or the brand will be visible to others of our kind, and the sleepers may feel uneasy around you. Assuming you do nothing
they will be marked
more,
as well?
No, you will be marked. The others will be fine after they complete their assignment. The mark will make other people feel uneasy around you. Other awakened individuals will be able to see it and know generally what you've done. And after a year, assuming you've done nothing worse, you will be free to do as you please. Though I imagine others will have their own opinions about you after that. On top of the debts you will owe Azariah, assuming she recovers.
Elias and Oliver owe you nothing. In reparation for what you're suggesting, I will instead owe you a life debt 3 times over. If you let them go. Or at least without charges.
No.
God, this piece of shit.
Like the problem here, Eric, is that you have no, what's the word I'm looking here for? Leverage. What a valiant effort, nonetheless.
We will let you all know the details of your ordeal. Upon receiving them, you will not be able to return to the Chantry until it is complete. Any attempts to do so will result in you being arrested and imprisoned in an umbral realm for up to a year. Azariah will come to find you when it is time for her to collect her debt from you all. But there is another issue that you all will have to deal with, or at least I imagine you will want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Balefire is not conducive to spirits, especially wraiths. Most of the time after our meeting was spent trying to do something for the poor being you attempted to bind.
Successfully.
It depends on how you define successful. The spirit is dormant, but their essence is at risk of being destroyed over time. The magic you used is designed to reforge spirits into other things, not to bind them. So it appears, if I understand what you all were attempting to do, you are planning on offering a new body for the spirit. I don't know if it was frugality or arrogance, but the process you used merged the two items together, the spirit and the doll. Now they are more or less ephemeral objects. You all will have roughly a year to find a way to fix that problem, or the spirit will no longer be a spirit.
Apologies, you told me I only had one ordeal to deal with. I am not dealing with anything else past that.
Oh, you do not have to do anything. You are more than welcome to abandon the spirit to its fate. I do not. That is me warning you of what will happen. You all seem to care about it, but if you do not, then it is of no concern to me. Are there any final questions that are not just complaints or insults?
No, I only have those left. Sorry.
When do we get started?
Oh, I do have a list of complaints and thoughts on this whole ordeal. The simple fact that this is not a trial so much as just handing down a sentence. If you guys were wise enough to sense the artifact in the first place, then you should have done something about it.
Is there a suggestion?
You are masters for a reason.
all are welcome to request a trial if you like. However, you should be aware. Actually, all of you, roll me intelligence and politics.
Request a trial of life. So we are guilty until proven innocent. Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, intelligence and politics. Difficulty 5. This is generally tradition. This would be general tradition knowledge. I don't think any of you have lore traditions, but if you do, let me know.
I'm going to spend a willpower.
Sure.
I'm foregoing the roll.
4 successes.
Oliver, are you rolling?
I got 2 successes.
All right, so with 2 successes, you both will know that it is possible that so far it is more common that masters or any sufficiently high mage can make decisions, especially for relatively low status individuals like yourselves. But you are aware that all tradition mages can request a trial in front of all mages of their chantry. You do know, however, the punishments are much more rigid in that case. There are specific ones for specific crimes, and it is entirely possible that you could end up with something worse than what you've gotten, or something better. With 4 successes, Mr. Tristan, you know there is a third option. You could request trial by the rest of the gentry, or you could request a trial by combat, in which case you would be responsible for battling, and if you were to succeed, you would be given, not amnesty, your crew would be considered innocent, but there are its own issues with that. I think that's all the forms of trial. Well, you have to fight something or someone. And it is very difficult. The way I would say what you would know with 4 successes, as the challenger, you would be able to determine the location of the battle, but the challenged would be able to determine the rules of it, and they can range from a musical competition to a physical battle to a coding competition, and many other things. I'm not going to win anything
it is anyways. It doesn't matter.
It's up to you. You are aware of all of those options.
Great. We're free to go.
You are.
Have quite in mind of just leaving this chantry altogether.
Well, not yet, Elias. We still have some fun to be had.
Oh, they can very well stick that ordeal up their ass.
Fair enough.
I would assume that you all wish to leave the room before having that conversation.
I don't care if I'm in the room or not.
Well, we'll say you all are leaving, and you are able to converse with one another.
And you just hear Elias as you're leaving the room going, "Oh, that's sticking up their ass." Yeah. So we just basically wait till we get our mission, and then we can't come back until we finish it.
Mm-hmm.
If that is what you want to do, I am really sorry, and I'm saying this to both Elias and Oliver. I did not mean for any of this to blow back on either of you. It's undeserved, and I tried my best. But fuck this chantry altogether.
Precisely.
Well, we're still alive, right? So that's something.
Well,
I am just wondering how masters can be blind like that, to let something that dangerous slip right underneath their eyes.
Well, I mean, I can't really argue that point. I'm the one who did it.
Sure. They are masters for a reason. They should be able to
Furthermore, not that we could argue in there anyways, because it clearly wasn't a trial.
No.
But I had this staff for months, and it showed no potential for magical anything. It never unlocked. It didn't do anything until we were at the mansion.
Did anybody else ever look at it?
I had a couple people look at it. We know it had bellfire, but it didn't.
So if one of those people who you had examine it, why didn't they sense something was wrong with it?
Like, this staff contains balefire. It's fine.
Well, we knew it was magical, so I tried to unlock its power, but it never did anything. It was just a stick for months. I tried literally everything I could think of.
Who did you have look at it?
Well, I mean, really just we were all, other than you, we were all there when we pulled it out of the ground.
So you never brought it to anybody in the chantry and had them look at it?
Not strictly at the chantry, no.
You bring it to a pawn shop, have it, appraised.
I thought it best not to do that. We knew it was powerful and magical, but fuck me, I couldn't get the goddamn thing to work. I was ready to throw the thing out.
I'm ready to throw this whole place out.
That said, you guys are more than welcome to handle the chantry business, but I can tell you right now, I'm not coming back.
Oh, no, I'm right there with you. I will not be coming back either.
I have a year to figure out this problem with Jessica, and I'm still going to take the win. She could have been trapped doing God knows what with that fucking lich or the vampire. But at least I know where she will be and that she'll be safe for the next year. And I've bided myself some time. I'm going to focus my efforts there. I do not need this chantry.
Interesting.
Virtual
sound-
adepts work on their own anyhow, so it's no big deal if I have this place or not.
Now, that said, I could not get you guys out of this predicament, and it is entirely my fault.
Well,
And
they
with
didn't
that-
say we ever had to complete it. We just couldn't come back here unless we completed it.
This is true. However, it is still my fault that we're in this predicament and that you're in this predicament, even though I have no intentions of helping the chantry in any way or returning. I owe both of you a major boon. And if you wish for me to help you return or anything you need, you only need to ask. I owe you that much.
Well, that's very sweet of you, Eric. But we still haven't finished the task we set out to of, what was it? Saving your wife or a lost lover or what have you.
Beyonce, but yes, yeah.
She's we're closer. You know,
We are
got
closer.
Got the doll. That's progress, right? But we've
I suspect that we'll have some angry folks on our tails.
yes. But without the staff or expertise in the spirit magic and being unwilling to delve into the chantry's resources,
Well,
do
they
you
have-
have a
They have vampires, right? We just light them on fire or something.
well, fair, yes. You can all light as many vampires on fire as we want. That's always a fun time. You know, I imagine it would be anyway. I haven't really done it before, but I imagine, you know, torching a few bloodsuckers sounds like a good time. But for Eric, we, you know, we probably need to find someone, you know, who maybe has the spirit expertise that he needs to delve deeper into whatever the problem is here with the soul being fused with this doll, because otherwise I fear that, you know, his loved one shall poof when we reach a year's time, and if he's not able to learn what he needs to by then to fix the problem, and we can't find any, you know, friends to help do so outside of the chantry, it may be a lost cause. So we should probably try to work on some kind of game plan for that.
I don't know what to say. Thank you. Both of you.
I like to finish things that I start. And it's been a fun ride. But I don't like to get off the roller coaster halfway through. That's dangerous.
It's true.
How are you feeling, Elias? I know that this has you a little conflicted, and
Oh, no, I'm not conflicted. I think they're all a bunch of complete idiots.
oh yes, well, that part. Sure.
How they got to their level of magic and still retains any form of not being able to even bother to look at the facts says a lot about this place.
I did notice a lot of brown noses in the room. That's for sure.
Well, you know, narrow focus. There is something that can be said for a narrow focus when it comes to building expertise, though it does leave you blind to many other areas.
It just makes me question how they cannot understand what comes in through the door. Frankly, they should have been able to sense it. They're masters for a reason.
Yes, you would imagine there would have been some better.
So it makes me
know.
wonder what else.
I
could
was
be
surprised.
connected.
I lasted months. I'm not gonna lie. It was very surprising to me that nobody ever came knocking at my door.
I'm surprised there's no sort of, I don't know, magical alarms that may have been triggered by such an evil device being brought into the chantry.
Exactly. Like,
Although perhaps the device had some sort of, I don't know, had something, as part of the device's enchantment that was keeping it from being, detected until, like it's magic didn't really become, as Erik said, visible until the right moment.
Well, now that we know their security is so poor, now that we're talking about it out loud, where do you think that staff is now?
we are
Doll.
not. We are not going to go get it right now.
Well,
Absolutely.
we haven't left technically the chantry yet. Like now is the time to grab our shit before we go.
We are not bringing that stuff with us. That's what's got you marked for a year.
That's fine. But how about Jessica?
Well, I assumed you could ask for her back.
I did. They said no.
Well, how are you supposed to fix her if you can't have that? Well, it may behoove you then to, if it's your job to fix her, it may behoove us to, or at least for you not to burn all your bridges with the chantry yet, until you've crossed that bridge and been able to fix her. Doesn't mean we have to play nice with them. Or
I have an idea about that. Where's Chaharu been this whole time?
Well, that will be a question we will learn in our next session. But for now, it sounds like our cabal has some emotions to deal with and some things to think about. So we will wrap up our session here of tonight. But once again, I say thank you to these wonderful people for helping me tell this magician story, this magical adventure. I'm going to thank you for watching. I hope you can join us next time. And we'll go ahead and let these wonderful people tell you where you can find them. And we'll start with Oliver.
Oh yeah, I play Oliver here, obviously, but you can find me at Sir Monolith on the Twitters. I'll probably expand to other platforms here when I feel the necessity, but at the moment, that's pretty much where you can find me here and there. But yeah, so just keep an eye out. Ree has a cycle of pretty cool games on his channel. Not only this one, but also we've got the vampire one, and we've got the D&D one that we'll cycle back around to here sooner or later. So keep an eye out for those, because never a dull moment.
All right, Erik, your turn.
Well, that was fun, y'all. Thanks again for watching. My name's Quinn. You can find me on Twitters or X at the Mercenary Storyteller. And this was not the emotional roller coaster I was expecting, but still one nevertheless. So it's it's never boring.
Whose fault that is? All right, last but not least, Elias.
Hi, I'm Ari. I play Elias here, and I'm on a couple of Ree's other games. And as always, you can find me over on Twitter, because I refuse to call it X. At Small Shadow Snack. Not really active over there, but this is where you can find me. Other than that, I will be back to cause more chaos for Ree, because I can.
All right, and with that, our Mage game has come to its end. So I hope you'll join us as we wrap up this season on the next week or so. So see you next time.